Okay, so good morning, everyone. My name is Rajiv, and I'm going to start the course of human-centered AI in this week. So, in the first week, we are going to have the introduction of HCAI. So, let's get started. So, we do have amazing teaching assistants like Adarsh Pandey, Ankush Gupta. So, they will be assisting us throughout the lectures. So, this is myself. I'm Associate Professor and Institute Chair Professor Interpolitically in the Department of CSE and SCD. So I lead the MADAS lab in Triple Delhi, probably many of you already know. So that is working in the intersection of multimodal data and the AI and CI. So we try to solve some real world problem around us. So as part of this course, we are also probably willing to solve some problem in the intersection of AI and SCI and building some system that you can play around and probably help the users to probably make their life easier. So this is a quick outline what we are going to cover in this week. And for your reference, this is the Google Classroom and the survey link I requested you all to follow. Please note that this is a design course, so you may not able to get CSE, AI, EC, or any other credits for the same. So please take the course accordingly. There will be a lot of in-class activity, exercises, surprise quizzes, uh, you can expect in the class. So I request you all to attend all the lectures because different classes may have different activities, exams, participation, and so on. So this is the details of the course. So in the different weeks, we are going to cover different topics as mentioned here. You can see it ranges from design principles and the human-computer interaction, human factors in AI system, in the context of AI, how the accessibility and inclusions are considered. So we also have to translate the user need into the data type because eventually we have to have some data for the AI, for the models or the system to process and fulfill the user needs. Uh, Further, we'll be discussing multimodal interaction and the adaptive interfaces. Ethics, professional norms, and the AI governance are very, very important topics that we'll be covering in the second half of the semester. Ethics, professional norms, and AI governance, explainability, interpretability in AI safety, robustness, and trust. And further, given the advancement in generative AI, especially in the context of human-centered design, we'll be covering cultural sensitivity, global perspective in AI, speculative and future design in human-centered AI. That is something we'll be aiming to cover as part of this course in different weeks, as mentioned here. So these are a couple of references in terms of books, papers, articles. That is something we'll be following. And this is the evaluation criteria. So as you can see that 10% reserved for attendance class participation in the classes. So it's very important to attend the classes. 15% for assignments. It could be individual group assignments. It's a mixture of both. We'll be having 20% for quizzes and class participation, activities, and so on. And for midterm and the interim examinations, we have 15 and 20% respectively. And the syllabus will be whatever covered until then in the course. So 20% weightage is required for projects. So we are aiming to probably have some SEI based, human centered based systems where you should also utilize some of the AI technologies in terms of AI, in terms of concepts, and so on. So the project will be basically a full-fledged project. It should be something tangible, more engineering nature, and you should apply the concept of human-computer interaction, apply the concept of human-centered design, and utilize the advancement of AI to solve the problems around us. There will be 5% bonus mark if your course project is ready for submission to CAI 2026. Just to encourage you all to probably take your course project to a logical steps. And based on my experience in my different courses, it's not something impossible. Many course projects advance to the publication stage with little or refinement and so on. So this is the timeline for the project that we are expecting. by week 2, we expect you to probably form your group. It could be a group of 3 to 4, depending on the number of students registered in the course. We'll keep you posted in the Google Classroom. We expect you to submit your project proposal and the idea, what you're going to work with the literature survey and other details uh, in the week 4. And subsequently, we expect you to start translating your idea into something tangible. And we are expecting to have something towards the end of week 6, 9, and 12 to further advance them to a complete project. As you can see that we are expecting to have mid, two midterm review and one final project review that will help us to assess the situation that you are in, how much you are done, and if you need any help, we are there to help you. And it is also encourage you to probably start the project early rather than end last week of the semester, which often the case. Okay, so some sample project that you can see. As you know that the problems in the examination, online examination, are problem of cheating in online examination is one of the prominent problem that we see across, and that is uh, happening due to online examination, Gen AI advancement, and so on. So, given these situations, so can we basically build something to prevent users from cheating in online examination? Eventually encourage them to probably write their responses and answer, applying their thought process rather than probably just looking at the responses from ChatGPT or probably some other tool to just simply write it down. So that is the aim. That is something we can do. And another project that you can think of is, um, by the way, the previous work that I mentioned here, we have published a paper in IJCB, one of the premier biometric conference, where we have received the best paper award for our solution, where so given a kind of written response in online exam setting, we are able to find out whether it's a, thought process based response or LLM assisted response. So based on the writing behavior, we are able to find whether you have uh, really thought about and probably written the response by your own, or have you taken any help. So another project that you can think of done by our students, so Aditya and Manya, so where they are willing to probably build a HMI system, human machine interaction system, where how to help the student in learning Braille. So in this case, basically you can think of, um, the visual impaired student often have uh, very limited, you can say, the sense. They're not able to see. And so based on the whatever the modality they have, for example, haptic and so on, can we help them in learning the Braille? And as you know that the traditional Braille learning is quite difficult, time taking, and also boring. So can we make it more interactive? Can we make it more fun for them to probably learn and so? So as you know that in a Braille alphabet, there are often 6 dots you can see in terms of 2 verticals. So depending on which dot is on, you can expect like what letter it is. So for example, in case of I, if you could give these dots number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2 and 4 is on, it means it's I, and so on. And definitely, Braille has played a vital role in the advancement of education for visually impaired people. So can we basically further use their technologies to help them further? So towards this direction, so we come up with our solution, Wave, wearable assisted for your vision. In this case, you can see that we build a wearable glove that helps visually impaired learn Braille through simple gesture. So it uses haptic sensor to gently nudge the users on their movement and actuators to convert input and output. So audio feedback driven instructor website with two model to assist students and enable instructor to track progress. and it aligned with the government initiative to provide regional language support using, again, Bharati Braille to create more diverse and inclusive learning.
Hi, I'm
This
Aditya.
video, as you can see,
I'm Manya, and we are Wave. We solve unseen problems.
so here
What
basically
problems
we
you may
have the
ask?
Manya.
Well, there are 3 million Indians who have corneal deformity, which leads to partial or complete blindness.
So by the way, they
What
have
we are
done a
trying to do
couple
over
of
here is trying to
hackathons
gamify and make the
on
process
this
of learning really
problem,
simple.
advancing
So
the
this is
solution.
Braille. A Braille
And
cell
they are
consists
doing
of 6
amazing stuff.
dots. As you can
As you
see in the
here,
Braille strip
so
and
they are
part,
wearing wearable gloves.
there are 6
And based
dots,
on the
3
different
on the
6
left,
dots,
2
you
on the
can
right.
see based
We
on the
have tried to
gestures.
represent the same here as well.
I mean,
How Wave really works is it generates a set of register values, and then based on your gesture, these values fluctuate. Once the fluctuation is recognized,
so based on
it
the
goes back to its
fluctuations, it will
database and maps to the English alphabets present in its database.
This is our website. How do you go about it? You first click to connect to
this is, you
Arduino,
can see the early
and then
use of
connect,
the
you pair it to the Arduino which is connected on the
basically
glove.
how you can track the
And how do I know it's connected? The buzzer
you
beep.
can see here.
So now Aditya will tell you how it works.
Our website has 2 modes. There's learning mode and there's practice mode.
So
I'll
it
be
has
showing you
learning
the
and the
learning mode
practice
right now.
mode. The learning
As you can see on the screen, it says A.
practice by
And
using
I know as per my knowledge, A is the first finger. So I flex my first finger.
Great. You folded it correctly. Now fold B, fold 1 and 2.
the person.
It says for B, I need to fold 1 and 2. So I'll be folding
It
1
will
and
type
2.
the letter.
Great. You folded B correctly. Now fold C, fold 1 and 4.
So it
says for C, I need to fold 1 and 4, but I will purposely be doing 1 and 2 again.
So it's more like learning. I mean, given a
Fold 1 and 4 for C.
you can
It shows you your accuracy as how accurately you have folded your fingers and how accurately you have shown the letters. As you can see over here,
you can see here the progress.
It detects wrong gestures and corrects you at the same time. It gives you corrective measures and how you can prevent it later on.
It's amazing, right? So this is the IGCB paper that I was talking about briefly earlier. So it keys to dynamics using academic dishonesty in the age of LLM. So our aim is to evaluate the effectiveness of typing pattern captured via keystroke dynamics in detecting intelligent and Gen AI assisted plagiarism. So that is something we have done. As you can see that based on the different letter that we're typing we are noting down the which keystroke that you have pressed for how long and so on. So for example, key down, key up, key down, key up for the different letters that you have. It might be the case probably uh, some key stroke may be overlap, so that will be discussed accordingly. So in this case, basically you can see it is based on the cognitive writing behavior modeling by Hayes and Flowers. So as you can see that it's not like you just write it. So if you have to write something, basically you start with idea generation, task preparation. Once you have that preparation, you basically try to translate your ideas to some kind of language in terms of writing, in terms of speaking, and so on. So once you have written, it's not like you have written perfectly in the first group. So in that case, basically you may have spelling and grammatical accuracy or issues. So that is something required immediate correction that you transcribe, then you correct and so on. Again, so once you have done it, probably you write a whole paragraph, but later you realize no, probably has it achieving the goal it is designed for? Has it achieving answering all the question it has been asked for? So if it is not, then probably it required extensive editing, section jumps, and so on. So in this case, you can see that it's keep writing, and the goal is to basically um, complete the task which has been given. So that is writing is a complex nonlinear goal-driven task. It involves 3 component: task environment, writing process, and writer's long-term memory. So this is the problem statement eventually look like. So that is something I'm also expecting in your project. So eventually clearly write down what is the input, what is the output we are expecting from your system. And in between, you can again provide all those technological advancement and human-centered design, human computer interaction fundamental to solve that. So what is HCAI? So many of you already gone through the courses related to HCAI and interaction design and so on. So briefly telling you so about it, let's explore the intersection of technology and the human behavior. So it's a crucial field in today's technology-driven world. With the rapid evolution of digital technology, it plays a vital role in creating user-friendly, efficient system and impacting industries from education, healthcare, entertainment, e-commerce, and many, many others that you can see there. So um, there are several researchers contributing towards this. So recently, as you know, that we had one pixel conference where interaction design or SCI pioneer Don Dorman appeared and probably participated in the panel discussion and shared his views. So I hope you have immensely benefited by the same. So those who are new to SCI, though of course you are most welcome to attend this course, but we strongly encourage you to take this online free course on NPTEL um, about human-computer interaction. As you can see that nearly 3,000 students has already registered. So yeah, so registration deadline I believe is 27th of January. So kindly register, learn from this course as well. And I'm sure that it will significantly help you in this human-centered AI course as well. So it will also give you basically a lot of hands-on experience with the different SCI tools for wireframing, for others, other tasks which are involved in completing a whole system. So one of the case study you can see that. Um, so of course there are so many digital wallets or probably digital payment apps are there. So through which probably even you can pay your credit card bills, but credit basically comes differently because it don't just give you the payment you are making, which is of course the actual task, but to make it more friendly, or you can say enjoyable. After paying the bill, you see there is some spin is there, and they encourage you. Okay, so once you pay this bill, if you get 777, you'll get an iPhone or some kind of you can say the price, though it never happens. But anyways, so it try to give you the smaller benefits. In this case you can see that, but more important, it give you more fun. So where you're spinning, if for example in this case here, if you get 2 times 7, probably you'll win a cashback of 1 rupees and so on. So the key components in a CI is 3: user, technology, and the interaction. So in this case, basically, you can see that uh, it is very important to know your user first, because knowing your user is a halfway to the success. Because eventually, if you don't understand or don't know your user, you are going to build something that may not require, that it maybe have completely different what they can do, what they cannot do. So usability and user experience in SCI is one of the key aspects you can see that. So usability primarily focuses on how effectively a user can achieve their goals using a product, which is the core requirement, and it deals with efficiency, effectiveness, learnability, memorability, and the satisfaction. Because it's not just about completing the task, but how efficiently, how fast it can be done. And it is also about the effectiveness, not about completing the just task, but accuracy of the task is also important. Learnability, how easy it is for the new user to begin using the system, probably also employing the um, some learning from other similar system can you immediately apply here. Memorability, so how easily users can return to a system after a break. And satisfaction, so about users comfort, positivity toward the system. So user experience basically eventually is the overall experience, emotion, perceptions a user has when interacting with the product. It's not just about whether you are able to accomplish your task or not. So it is very important to, yeah, uh, improve the usability and the user experience for any product that you are building. So Henry Dreyfus, a renowned American digital designer, has rightly said, a design is what we are working on is going to be written in, sat upon, looked at, talked into, activated, operated, or in some way used by the people individually or in masses. So in a way, it is part of our life. If part of our life, and uh, we interact, we use, we uh, do anything with that. For example, you're using smart watches, so it's not just for watches, even for sleeping and trapping. You're tracking basically how good you slept, similarly how many steps you have walked, and so on. So it basically help you in many other ways, and you can think of many other such examples in your daily life. So it is, if the point of contact between the product and the people become a point of friction, so that is somehow creating hurdle, that is somehow creating hindrance for the user to use it, then industrial designer has failed. So while designing this point of contact, so that is more in terms of interfaces, it has to be smooth, it has to be easy, it has to be quite intuitive in nature, and so on. So if on the other hand people are made safer, more comfortable, more eager to purchase, more efficient, or just happier, the designer has succeeded. So um, in the essence of human-centered design, an approach that places the needs, comfort, and the safety of all the user at the heart of design process, that is more, you can say, the human-centered design. And it has broken down in, you can say, in the following points. Introduction. Interaction as a key to success, reducing the friction between the user and the system technology, positive outcome for the people, success criteria for designers. So that is some things there. So uh, we'll be discussing in more details about like this, but uh, often you hear the term design thinking. So a design thinking is a user-centered iterative process for problem solving, and focuses on empathy, creativity, and the experimentation. Why design thinking? Because it encourages innovation and creative solution, and it prioritizes understanding and solving the right problem. So design thinking has primarily the 6 key stages, and it's more iterative in nature, as you can see that. So that evolves, or you can say, start from understanding the user and the problem, exploring the, again, the possible solutions, and so on, and finally materializing the, implementing the, testing, evaluating the solution. So in the Nielsen Norman group, as you can see that there are a lot of resources are available that you can have a look. So in summary, these 6 key stages involve empathizing, so understanding the user and their needs, what is the strength they have, what are the pain point they have, what are the limitation they have, and so on. So defining, so clearly articulate the problem, because if you don't define the problem, you end up probably building or providing solution to something else which user is wanting. So ideating, brainstorming potential solutions. Prototype is build tangible solutions among the optimal solution that you can think after the brainstorming the potential solution. So you need to evaluate solution with the users in the, probably in the best case, in the actual environment. And after that, basically, once you see it's working well, it is working as expected, uh, um, you put the vision into the effect and into the implementation. So it is, as I mentioned, it is more iterative and often overlap stages, and that help you in achieving the overall goal. So one of the case study you can see in Airbnb, which has applied design thinking, design process uh, concepts, as you can see that. So in 2008, Airbnb room is look something, a website looks something like this. And 2009 they start improving, but though they were doing, they were having some business, but they're not working as expected, they are not gaining, you can say, they're doing business as expected. So in 2009, many of you probably startup enthusiasts, there's a company called Y Combinator, which invest in different startups based depending on their potential. So Y Combinator has invested in Airbnb in 2009, and you can see that, I mean, after doing all those understanding, applying the design thinking to understand how they can improve the business, and so on, how to basically attract more customers on their platforms, host plate on their platforms, and so on. So they started working towards, and now you can see how does the Airbnb website look now in 2024. And that has, applying the design thinking, design process has significantly basically improve their business. So this will be, uh, this is a one screenshot, as you can see that. So at one time, Airbnb was nearly $100 billion company, and Y Combinator has investors in 2009 by just a small amount. You can see $20,000 for a seed amount of 6%. And if you see the if you see that stake now, so that $20,000 is equivalent to, you can say, nearly $5 to $6 billion in just 15 years. That is nearly 2.5 lakhs times the investment they have made, and so on. Isn't it credible? And that's how, I mean, these venture capitalists and probably the investors made the money. Of course, 90% company may not able to make the money that they have invested, but remaining 5-10% company which succeed will compensate for everything. So these are the different steps as we mentioned. So empathizing, so gain a deep understanding of the user needs. There are different methods. Again, we can discuss more in the further lectures, so that involves around interviews, observation, empathy map surveys, and so on. And in HCAI course, we have discussed in great details about this. So again, you can attend the HCAI on NPTEL that I mentioned earlier. So goal is to discover user motivation, behavior, pain points, and desires. Uh, Similarly, the next step is define synthesize findings from the empathize stage. So identify key insight and the pattern from users research. Create a problem statement, a very clear and concise definition of the problem, what they are facing, what you are willing to solve, and you can use how might we format to encourage creative solutions. And again, so in our SI course, we discuss this in greater details with the different use cases. You can have a look. So next stage is ideate. So generate a wide range of ideas and the potential solution, brainstorming, mind mapping, sketching, storyboarding, everything is there. So you can use techniques like Crazy 8s, where participants sketch 8 different ideas in just 8 minutes to encourage quick thinking, and after that they can ideate and probably come up with the solutions. Prototyping, again, the different types of prototypes you can think of: low fidelity, mid fidelity, and high fidelity prototype. So here fidelity primarily referring to the how close a prototype that you have built is close to the actual system. So uh, examples of low fidelity, simple sketches, wireframes, mockup that you can again build with the different tools like Figma and others that we have done. Discuss in the again SCI NPTEL course that you can refer to. So mid fidelity is structured, grayscale, interactive, and high fidelity is more closer to the actual systems where detailed interactive prototypes. So Figma, Adobe Express, XD, Sketch, cardboard paper, and everything is there to help you. And so we have provided hands-on experience with all these tools in our SCI course on NPTEL. So you may refer to them. So goal is quickly build prototypes to explore solutions and then get feedback. And next stage is validate and refine prototype with real users. And that's where basically you can see there are different methods like usability testing, A/B testing, user feedback session, and so on. And after the testing, you can finally implement in a sense, ensure that your solution materializes and touches the lives of your end users. And this is basically the final and critical steps in design thinking that often gets overlooked. So we need more than design doing, because eventually you need something tangible that you can use in actual environment. So often, as I mentioned, the iteration is quite common and it's quite required. So in different stages, you can see that the iteration is happening and you can completing this. So different companies, popular companies like Netflix regularly iterates its algorithm recommendation, algorithms and interfaces based on the user feedback and testing to improve user engagement. So Netflix and the Airbnb is one of the most popular use cases, case studies, which employed the design thinking, design process to improve their, you can say, the business and so on. So benefits of design thinking: it encourages innovation, reduces risk, user center in nature, and foster collaboration. And getting stakeholders buy-in and alignment on the goal, and which is one of the challenges I think we need to keep in mind. So balancing creativity with the practical constraint, because you may have a very creative solution, but is it feasible? Is it able, do you have uh, any constraint uh, around that to solve that? Similarly, managing interactive cycles with tight deadlines, again, which is very challenging and difficult. Ensuring diverse representation for inclusive solutions, having access to the all possible users, again, is very difficult solution. So the conclusion of this is Design thinking is flexible, user-centered approach. Has empathy, creativity, and iterations are central to the process. Effective for addressing complex and ambiguous problems. So takeaways: start with a user in mind, keep user in center, interact with them, understand their needs, understand their limitations, understand their pain points, their strengths, and so on. Embrace failure as a learning opportunity and iterate until the solution fully made the user needs. So keep doing it. So if user is not happy, then it's not in. So design process basically a series of structured steps followed by the designer to identify the problems, generate ideas, creative solution, and evaluate results. And it guides designer to understand a problem to implementing a solution, encourages creativity, structuring, and the key stages involved research, ideation, prototype testing, and implement. It's quite similar to the design thinking you might have seen. Uh, so here basically you can see the very popular design process, double diamond design process, where the first phase is problem space, where you have the discover and define part. So you can see here it's exploring, divergent, and convergent, that is more focusing. So we need to find a basically balance between these. So here basically discover into the problems. We think about like what all the problem that they have. Well, and then basically you just focus on okay, which one you can solve and so on. And similarly in the second, develop and deliver. So you may have so many potential solution, but solution that work is probably you need to focus on the convergent stage and so on. Finally you have the solution. Again, a lot of iteration, you can think that it's there and so on. So this is about the discover and define phase, and that is the, you can say, the different activities which is happening in the discover and define phase in the phase one. So discover and define, similarly in deliver and develop and deliver phase and so on. So in the develop and deliver phase, you can see that initially you may have rapid sketching, low fidelity profile frames, paper, and converging. I mean, you may have sort of really refined sketching, high fidelity wireframes, interacting prototype, and so on. So design is not just what it looks and feel like. Design is how it works. Steve Jobs rightly said. So the major difference between design thinking versus design process is design process is a more structured sequence of steps followed to create a product or solution, often including stages like research, ideation, prototyping, testing, and implementation. It's a linear or iterative methodology aimed at achieving a specific design outcome. And design thinking is a mindset and the problem solving approach that emphasizes empathy, creativity, and iteration. So it is a more user standard strategy that involves understanding the user needs, define problems, ideating solutions, prototyping, and testing. And the different case studies that I mentioned, like in case of Airbnb, they have uh, they have basically initially struggled, but after applied the design thinking by staying at their own listing to empathize with the users and understanding their pains, they discovered the poor quality photos of rental spaces or many other things. And the outcome based on that, basically they apply the design process to complete the solution for this. And after that, where we can see the Airbnbs now. Similarly, you can see the design process is a more structured step-by-step method to create a solution once the problem and user needs are defined. So in this case, you can see that the major difference between design thinking and the design process, and how Airbnb basically employed both to uh, solve the challenges they were facing. So, so let's talk about now more on the AI. So AI is primarily we are using for, you can say, for the automation and how you can automate, and how the different uh, AI based models are there, ML and deep learning based models are there to probably help you in, for example, in classification, in generation, and so on. So for generation, I mean, LLMs is one of the, you can say, the um, state of the art at this moment. So different, including GPT-4, Gemini, Perplexity, Mistral AI, many others are there. And so they are powered by AI and trained on a massive collection of text and things. So it can help you in different ways. For example, given this uh, image, you can see that this is generated by AI. So for example, you can just simply ask, write a 5-line poem about pizza in an image of a delicious pizza. In this case, you can see there's a poem is written, pizza image is generated, and so on. So what a poetic treat it is, right? So again, so it's amazing to have something like this. So though it is primarily just using generation, but how you can use in your different use cases. So for example, for the booking, for travel, for study, for education, for advertisement, and different use cases you can think of. So a language model is more like a next word prediction task. In this case, you can see tripulation like to, I mean, what the next word would be. Of course, study. And in this case, like it can basically solve a number of problems. So it can help you in grammar. So in my free time, I would like to run rather than banana and so on. So based on these probabilities, you can select the next solutions and so on. So what these language models cannot solve, it's you can say still they are struggling with the current world knowledge. So stock price of, for example, APPL on March 1st, 2025, we don't know what would be. Similarly, updated long arithmetic, mini reasoning, and step and so on. So the major differences you can see here between the language models and the large language model. As I mentioned earlier, um, we are not going to go into the deeper mathematical understanding of these machine learning models or LLMs or any other AI models. We are more using them as a tool, as an API, to solve the problems at hand. In our case, as a engineering problem. So the different models are available, as you can see, the different or the number of parameters, it emerging and probably giving you the this possible results. It's good to know which one to use, what is allowed, what is uh, eligible, what is basically you can say the permissible, what uh, is going to fit into the different use cases, the which model is going to fit into the different constraint that you have, and this will also help you in deciding which model to use. There are a couple of models are there, GPT or probably Llama, that is more open source by Meta, and you can say, I mean, most of them are based on the transformer based architecture with little changes in this, as you can see. So uh, those who don't know the transformer in machine learning and deep learning models, so I would recommend you to probably read the seminal paper, Attention is All You Need. And this explains how what is transformer architectures, how it is benefiting the overall problems we are handling. So often we have different LLMs these days, how to basically make them work. So often they may not give you the expected outcome and so on. So you need to communicate with them, you need to interact with them. So prompting is a technique through which you can communicate and interact with them and make it work based on your. Similarly, we have multimodal LLMs. So where basically it is not just limited to the text, but you may have now images, audio, video, and so on as well. And based on that varied modalities of input, it will generate the corresponding outputs. GPT-4, Gemini, Lava, and so on are there. So it can help you in different applications. So for example, visual question answering, image captioning, document understanding, video understanding, image understanding, and so on. That is something is there. So in this case, you can see here, so you have image of sleepy monkey in a room. So that is by GPT-4. Similarly, a video of live cafe, as you can see in this video. Again, so all these are generated by the generative models that we have these days. So we are more interested in the intersection of LLM and SCI in this course. So we focus on the intersection of LLMs and SCI that represents a major leap in creating systems that are more intuitive, adaptive, and responsive to human. So traditionally interacting with the computers require users to adapt to the rigid interface, but with LLMs now the paradigm shift towards the machine adapting to the humans, understanding their needs. It's working more as an agent and so on. So as you can see, the LLM or even the AI in SCI is primarily helping in education, content creation, personalization, social media, networking, healthcare, and many, many other ways. So that is more about the growth of conversational AI. So that is, there is an agent, so it could be chatbot, it could be virtual bot, which is helping you. So it could be some voice-based assistant and so on that help you in fulfilling the user needs that you have. So LLMs makes it possible for users to interact with the system in natural language. That is the major difference between the LLMs are helping you in achieving, because earlier there are fixed set template, there are fixed ways of interacting. So for example, while interacting with the chatbot, you need to select one option from given ABCD and so on to, but often and most of the time it is the case, it is not helping you what the question that you have and so. So now the advancement in LLMs is helping you to accomplish that. So in human-centered AI, as an AI system become more capable, it is crucial to ensure that it align with the human needs, values, which is a core philosophy of HCAI. So adaptive learning system, that you can see different students have different, you can say the learning abilities, and they have different understanding. So based on that, can we basically build something more adaptive? So that could be another possible project that you can think of building as part of this course. So role of human comprehension, role of LLM or AI, as you can see here, they are solving different problems. So we have to work in the intersection of both to solve a problem which keep human in center and uses the automation and the probably advancement of AI. So one activity you can think of in this case, so think about challenges you faced while learning in school and explore how LLM could assist you in overcoming it. So these are the different instruction you can think of. So similarly, the personalization in the content you can see here. Similarly, in the advertisement, as you can see here, so have an advertisement text in Hindi, best for smile, टूथपेस्ट अपने बच्चों को दे स्वस्थ और चमकते दांत क्योंकि उनके मुस्कान में ही है असली खुश. So similarly, how many Indians will going to like it? So can it help you in even writing this so that some particular segment is going to like it and so on. So now the generation is not a simple generation, it is more targeted generation, it is more, you can say, um, depending on the different audience that you have, their needs they have, different requirement they have, and so similarly it is also in terms of user interfaces, personalized feedback, continuous learning, that is something is there. So that is something you can see here. So benefits are there, so in terms of enhanced engagement, increase conversion rates, better user experience, and so on. So it's a win-win for everyone. So it is basically also helping you in accessible and social inclusion. So again, we discuss more into the subsequent lectures in more details. So what is accessibility in digital? So making application usable by specially abled people as well. And social inclusion is designing technology that accommodate diverse group, ensuring that marginalized or underrepresented user are not excluded, promoting digital equity. So how LLMs contribute to access? Similarly, as we know that now we have them state of that text to speech, speech to text, image generation, video generation, multilingual support, personalized accessibility features. Many other things are there which will help you in achieving all those. Similarly, how HCI come in action? As you can see, it can ensure that user interfaces are easy to navigate, visually clear, and accessible to everyone. So let's re-imaging the mobile phones that we have these days. So now our phone is full of application these days, right? And in order to accomplish something, probably you have to navigate through n number of application to accomplish this. So what if you have as an phone as an assistant rather than multiple apps, which whom you just say what you are willing to have? Even in the best case, it will just understand what you are want to let her do. In that case, I mean, just complete it and use it. So for example, imagine a planning a surprise birthday party for your friends using a future AI powered device instead of juggling multiple apps like messaging platforms, event planner, gift registries, deliveries, service, blah blah blah, and so on. So again, it's time taking, it is you will not able to have the best one. And similarly, I mean, should we order from the Zomato or probably Swiggy or Food Panda or any other? So I mean, so now we have to manually check on the all three websites. Similarly, where should we order from Amazon or Flipkart or so on. Similarly, uh, should we use invite through the WhatsApp or the Telegram, and because the different friends are there on different platform. So again, I mean, it's very tiring and so on. So can we basically make it simple? Just saying and let the agent do based on our needs. So for example, you simply set a plan a surprise party for Anna on Saturday evening, invite our close friends, book a cozy venue near house, blah blah blah, and so on. And simply it will do everything based on the break down the points, and accordingly it will do, and that's great, right? So summary is, as you can see, the design thinking is user-centric problem solving methodology focusing on innovation, empathy, and different key stages we discussed. Design process, a more structured approach to solving design challenges applicable across domains. And we discussed double design, diamond design, design process model, and CI basically studies how user interact with the technology, emphasize intuitive design, usability, accessibility, which are crucial for creating AI systems that are engaging and easy to use. We discussed there are different LLMs, generative AI tools are there which you can leverage for automating, probably completing the task in a more faster, more accurate way. So human-centered AI focuses on designing AI system that prioritizes human needs, values, and ethical consideration, aiming to build transparent, trustworthy, and collaborative technology that augment rather than replacing the human capabilities. They focus on developing AI systems that are explainable, ethical, user-friendly, integrating advanced AI technology like LLMs into interfaces that enhance human AI collaboration and the trust. So these are a couple of references you can have a look and we'll learn from. So with this, I stop here. Thank you so much, and feel free to ask question in Google Classroom, which we can answer. Thank you so much.